Hello and welcome to another video. So today we're taking a look at Heal Haven, which is, most commonly Elena's Prayer. But why not? I mean, this deck's been doing pretty crazily good. I mean, with D-Shift basically being out of the running as a major control stomper, you don't see it anywhere near as frequently, and Control Blood is pretty popular along with Dragon, which this deck actually has quite good matchups against. So it'll be interesting to see if this stays the same for the rest of the month or whether Haven ends up dropping out. But at the moment, this is one of the top few decks, so I definitely recommend playing it. There isn't too much to say about it, your Tenko, healing prayers, everything that you could need to possibly combo with this is just great. You are running a few one-offs, especially with things like healing prayer. You really only need that one, which I think that is the only one we're running one of. Other than that, running a couple of Aether Wings, a couple of Heavens, and then you're basically standard Haven engine outside of that. So let's get right into the games and check it out. First up, the Forest match. Forest is an interesting one, I mean, of course.
Is fighting in despair all
Most of the time you can do fairly well against Forest just because you can keep bolstering your health while they try and chip away at you. As long as you can avoid a major roach combo, you're pretty set. And as for going for mulligans, I usually try and keep an Elena's Prayer if I can, because having that on 3 is usually the best play you can do. Plus, having the Blackened Scripture is also good against most decks, especially Forest, where they're going to be dropping a lot of low-cost things. Unfortunately, though, suffers from something a lot of Haven decks do, not having a decent startup hand, especially if you don't draw into Globe in the first turn. You are going to be waiting, usually, till about 3 to play something good. No real issue taking a little bit of damage, especially with the amount of healing this deck can do. So getting this Elana out was way more of a priority. And of course, double Goblin Mage, just how I like it. Get tag teamed by those gobbos. What do we got next? Blackened Scripture, gotta clear them out. Maybe even this Healing Rabbit, plus the boost for the Elana. I love Elana as a card, it is a wonderful one to run.
What would you do without me?
It is great fun to run Elana. But you do have plenty of decent damage dealing cards in this deck. Being able to bolster your health along with your followers, always a good thing. Sometimes you might even go all in and throw 2 Elanas on board, so you get really good boosts very quickly. Being able to trade up is always beneficial. So really good, Tenko. Attack, heal, boost. Probably one of the best synergies with Elana. But we've also got plenty of other cards to go along with it. Does suck that Will of the Forest had to drop though. Clearing out it, damn, that Tenko would have been so much value. But we do get the Aether White Wing, which is great. It means we can guarantee an Aegis play later in the game. Other than that, all we can really do is wait. So once these things drop, we should be in a good spot. Especially if we get to hold Mosaic Holy Water. That'll be amazing. Comboing it with the double Eagles. Unfortunately though, Rhino Roach is here. Huge risk.
Stop! I lost.
But they did make a mistake, which is a bonus, so I think we could have held out pretty well. Following up that match, we have Blood. Blood is interesting, like I said. Control Blood is probably the more popular at the moment, and this matchup is reasonably close. I'd still say it's in Haven's favour, depending on the player, I guess. But this hand is great. Globe is really good, along with Snow White. Snow White trades into a lot of early game things in Blood. And being able to guarantee an amulet draw. Fortunately, no plays from Blood leaves me able to play whatever I want. And another Globe is great to go with Princess Snow White if we need it for turn 3. That's if we don't draw anything else. This hand is just really good. Sometimes you won't always get your Elenas, but there are plenty of cards to really, really pressure your opponent in.
Crystals of snow shimmer in the night.
So we'll save that Beast Call. No point using it this early. No, we've already got one on board. Unfortunately, Blood Moon. Not too uncommon now.
No!
Getting that good draw. And there's Elana perfectly as we need it. Especially going into next turn where we'll have the Tenko play and the Beast Call proc. We'll be looking at a really heavy amount of boosting and damage.
I want it. It's like
Even with this Belfair.
Shall I grant your wish?
Although I'm pretty sure I do make a small sequencing error here. So just keep in mind sometimes when you do play this deck to make sure you sequence things right. I honestly should have evolved the Tiger. Attacked with that.
The real battle begins.
It would have got boosted due to the Tenko's ability. Then I should have rammed the Eagle, which would have actually been 4 instead of 3. So it would have been a lot better. And we would have been left with the same board state. So I could have just basically got one more damage in there. Although Righteous Devil is an absolute pain. Luckily though we do have another Tenko, so
Farewell then, friends.
why not? We also have Tribunal, but it's a matter of deciding what's more beneficial here. Honestly, I probably should have just played the Tribunal, played Healing Rabbit instead. That would have been better than wasting this Tenko. So a couple of misplays do happen, especially when you're trying to think of other ways out. Looking back on a game, which is why I like doing these kind of replays, because they're much easier for me to look at. Really helps when you don't know what you've stuffed up. Fortunately, double Elana though, I don't think Blood can really come back from that. Even Control Blood, they do run the Amulet Clearer 7-drop, but even that's probably not going to be enough. So we have got Priest of the Cudgel, which is pretty okay here. But of course, we've also got the Heavenly Aegis. Turn 9. Once that drops, a couple of boosts to it, Blood really can't do anything against it. I do pressure the board though. I mean, they're going to have to clear this 4-5 pretty much no matter what. So it's not going to hurt to play Beast Call. Because now I can just drop Heavenly Aegis without any issue. And from there, our whole hand is healing. All we need is board space, which we will have next turn. Not so lucky though. I mean, it would be nice if they didn't play the mask. I could have actually got some good damage to their face.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
That's okay. Aiming for that draw though. I probably could have played the rabbit first, but I wasn't sure what I could draw off it, and I didn't want to risk filling my board up before I did that draw. Plus, I guess gets the boost anyway, which is crazy. We just could have had a bigger rabbit. Of course, Spawn of Abyss. Not really an issue against this deck. Because of the amount of healing you're running and the Decree and stuff like that, it's really no issue just to completely swarm it. So I do decide to do that just to remove it. Kind of sucks that it had to be straight after Beast Call, but because of the healing and the damage I can deal, not a big deal. I mean, we've got Rabbit Healer next turn along with Black Inscripture. We've got a 4-5, which is a solid. So even this Blood Hungry isn't a big threat to me. We'd only need 2 healing cards, I think. Or we just go with the Aether, summon our second Aegis. I mean, why not? So now we've got 2 gods that are just going to keep getting boosted. Plus we've got more than enough damage just to win this outright. A ward would have been the only thing to kind of stop us, but even that wouldn't have probably blocked out enough. Just huge cards. And our final game is against Rune. Rune is reasonable now, I suppose, at the moment. You see a few, but for the most part, you're going to see Haven and Blood, I think. That's my opinion on our current meta anyway. And keep in mind, these videos are usually made a few days prior to their actual release, so things could change in that time, but I don't see this deck dropping very quickly. Not unless some other deck comes along and just devours Haven, but I can't think of anything that does that other than D-Shift, and even D-Shift is being played a lot less. Just because its consistency was dropped down a bit. So, good hand, Globe, great start. Beast Call off that is always good. You can guarantee a 1-2 drop pretty much. Not much from the opponent here. Witch's Cauldron into Starseers is a double draw into another Witch. But no followers means I can pretty much just play what I like, which is always good when you're playing as Haven. Having those couple of turns just to drop Beast Call, usually you can put yourself in an okay spot. Not so lucky though, no good turn 3 play. But, as we say that, drawing Elana, perfect. So, Burn Rune isn't quite fast enough usually to take down all your health. You're gonna pretty much stay alive. And you can line things up pretty nicely. So instead of taking the risk on the Tribunal, I do just decide to kill it. Especially when I know I can drop Tenko next turn and get some value out of it.
You ready for the good stuff? I told you not to be mean to us!
And of course, Golem had to be the way to go. Makes this a lot worse.
For my friends, whatever it takes, you're done for.
So, Holy Flame Tiger gets his own evolve. Would have been nice if I could have kept the Falcon alive. Although being able to just use this Tiger is okay too. And Tenko gets a nice boost, so it's going to be harder to get rid of. Even transforming into rats isn't very good for your opponent here. But they can kill this Tenko, but it's going to take everything they've got on board. So that's good for me. I mean, it means I can play out pretty much anything I want. This deck just does a great job at keeping you ahead of the game in the board, while also just building up to your big drops. Like, I didn't have a need to use Priest here with the Evolve, but I did anyway. Because your only Evolve targets are really Aegis and Priest, you don't really need to evolve anything else. The boosts from Elana are more than enough. Occasionally you'll want Tenko Evolve plays, so you can get the extra Elena's prayer buffs and healing. But that's about all you're using them for, so having 3 is more than enough. And our opponent's already used all of theirs. So I do misjudge this slightly. Probably could have done better if I just cleared the Magic Illusionist on its own, and then left it as just a single Magic Illusionist with nothing else to go with it. That way Levi here wouldn't have got... well, it still probably would have done the same thing, I suppose. Been in the same spot. But double Elena's Prayer, that's what I really love doing. Especially when we've got the Beast Call proccing next turn. And we've got more than enough healing.
The name's Levi, don't forget.
So all we really need is a board clear. Because our healing is going to be, like, really quite well. Fortunately no board clear, at least not yet. But we do get to trade the Falcon, which allows us to drop whatever we want. And Holy Flame Tiger is going to be more than enough to clear this Levi. Actually, what do I end up using? Ah, the Tribunal. That's alright. The better way to go. Get a full board. Board clear. Take less damage on the Tiger. I probably could have done it and just played Rabbit Healer and cleared that, but I would have put myself at risk. After all, the less health you've got, the harder it is. This is where there was a major risk. If they drew 3 damage, I was dead. Flat out. I had nowhere to heal, which sucked. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe. You will find the deck list in the description below. This deck is great fun and I hope you enjoy it. I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.